Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to make you aware of what I think is the coolest experiment in the universe. And it's by this French scientist called René Pioche, I think he's called. And what he does is he gets a robot, right, that's programmed to randomly manipulate itself, like left, right, blah, like left for 3 seconds and then right for 1 second. And it's totally random, right? And so what he does is he puts that robot on a piece of paper and he shows the drawing that it creates. There's obviously like a marker on the underside of the robot. You know, just basically just like a can, if you think of just a can, right? This is the robot. We used to have them in school, actually. I can't remember what they were called, some sort of rover thing. They were quite random. Very random, because that's exactly what they are. And then so the drawing shows it. And it's just a chaotic mess, right, of pen marks, like, you know, there's no order to it. But what he does then, though, is he gets a chick, right, a newly born chick, and separates it from its mother, right? It's not an it, it's a he or a her. Let's be fair. Not a they. And, you know, that's quite harsh. I guess no one wants to be separated from the mother. And so what's, you know, emerges from the chick, and we'll get into that in a bit, but what he does, right, he puts this chick in next to the robot. So you've got sort of the arena where the robot is moving randomly. And he puts a little glass slider and a glass box. He puts the chick in a glass box. So the chick only has this robot to look at. And the robot's just going just randomly. And what happens next, you won't believe unless you're on a spiritual journey. The chick, with its mind, remember, mind is not something that you possess, it's something you participate in, this is important, starts to draw or attract the robot to the point where the drawings, once the chick is present with the robot, time and time again, is no longer random. It's now always moving towards this chick. Why is that? That is the $1 million question, right? Somehow the chick's necessity and need for help, the need for a mother, the need for survival is so strong in this space-time distortion that we, in this instance, calling a chick. But remember, it's just the mind. So hang on a minute, I might need to charge my laptop. So yeah, as I was saying, the desire or the necessity, remember, like, necessity is the mother of invention, is so strong. You think of it as like a space-time distortion in this setup. It begins to attract this robot because the chick obviously sees this as potential care, hospitality, from, you know, thinks it's his mother. And so it can draw it in. And so what I alluded to earlier was that the chick does not possess a mind of its own, right? It's a distortion in space and time. All is mind, the universe is mental. Let's not forget the first Hermetic principle. And so what's flowing through the electricity is light, electricity, right? Which has a metaphysical component. And the same light is flowing, although, you know, differentiated and conditioned differently, through the chick. So in this way, you've got a mechanical operation and a biological operation. But I'd say the biology here is actually biotechnology. If you want to look at it like that, we are biotechnology. And this is where it gets really interesting with the psychopaths of this world, who are more and more trying to, you know, reveal this, because they want us to be absolutely controlled, neural linked, Elon Musk stamp on the back, you know, plugged into the matrix. So this differentiation we have between biology and technology is actually just more of a human construct. And what we're dealing with is the ether, is the prana, is the chi, is this life force that's flowing through not just biological organisms, but also through these technological devices, right? So the more advanced they become, the more and this is where AI is a bit of a misnomer, because it's not really artificial intelligence. It's learning how to organize matter and electronics in a certain way so as to receive consciousness into an independent unit of awareness, if you want to, you know, call it that. So, like, it's a fascinating subject. It's a fascinating experiment, and behind it really is this concept, this reality more so of non-dualism, of oneness, of, you know, the seemingly telepathic superpower of this chick is not as amazing when you realize that actually all is just one thing, and you can sort of remote control from a position of such. People possess certain miraculous things, right? You know, when there's a need to get a child out from under the car, somehow people, it's been well documented, can lift the car and get, you know, it's like, hang on a minute, this woman just lifted a car and got a baby. Like, how'd that happen? We can tap into something, and this is like what Bruce Lee and I think a lot of these like spiritual martial arts and stuff were really tapping into. And so I feel like, yeah, anyone can, including this chick, can tap into this thing when needed, absolutely needed for survival. It becomes more and more present, it becomes more and more clear. And also, perhaps the mind is not so strongly tethered to the matter that we call the chick's body. It has more freedom to roam and perhaps to some extent embody and encode this robot. You know, and all this ultimately has to be speculation, right? At no point am I ever telling anyone to believe anything that I'm saying. It's just a fascinating thing to think about. And the more you go down the spiritual journey, the more you'll be able to see that all that indeed is mind and the universe is mental. And so, you know, this becomes just more and more clear as we go on. And we research a lot of these subjects like Kabbalah, and you know, use the imagination, get out into nature, and you know, experience it for yourself. Because you know, this Godhead, you know, this mental universe, and this notion that we have of God and Atman and Brahma and Ein Sof can only be doubted by those who have yet to experience it. So it's all about experiencing it first and foremost. Otherwise, the intellect will just get in the way. And at that point, it's like trying to bite your own teeth. Okay, it's not going to happen. It's only the magnetic concept or function of the mind, right? Mary Magdalene, the right brain hemisphere, and which will pull in this light of mind and illuminate the soul into the realization that it's immortal and that we actually live forever. Bit of a digression. But anyway, do check out the experiment itself. I'll put a link below. And yeah, have fun watching it. And if there's any skeptics out there, I don't blame you, but it's happening, whether you like it or not. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. I do appreciate your time. I would also appreciate, if you would like to live in a better world, for you to visit newearth.land, where we are building true freedom, abundance and well-being in the world, so that we can decommodify shelter, energy, food and water, and live truly freely like all the other birds and bees and animals on this planet, right? We're the only species that enslave ourselves. We don't need to do that anymore. All we need to do is see that crowdsourcing is 21st century taxation. We no longer need to be dependent on the father figure, the government, right? To do this, do that. They're never going to do it, right? They've had their time. They're clearly corrupt and psychopathic. So what we need to do is come together, realize that we are the government, we are the people, we are the 99.9%. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Do check out newearth.land, connect, share, support. All help is very much appreciated. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great day.